Page 69, Jason and Will reporting Richard Christie is despondent over the end of his month-long nationwide celebration of Halloween. Richard apparently nearly in tears over the end of his favorite holiday for this year. Richard confiding in Will Murray that he's more upset over the end of the Halloween season than he is about his bitter confrontation with Artie Lang last week.
Richard is genuinely odd. I mean, there was this weird story I heard. First of all, I'll tell you this. On Lotus Notes, Tracy Millman has pictures of Richard's apartment. I should put these on howardstern.com. In fact, I will.
Where did Tracy get the pictures?
I don't know where Tracy got them. Where did Tracy get them?
I think they were all over there for something.
His toilet and his bathroom floor, and it's a filthy pigs. I've never seen...
That's why I was asking what it smelled like in his apartment, because I can't imagine it being clean.
These pictures didn't have any smell-o-vision, but they certainly looked weird. And then I heard that weird story. Richard had a really good friend. How long ago was this?
This was in 1995, the last time I saw him or heard from him.
Yeah, he hasn't
Best
seen him.
friend in Missouri.
And the last time you saw him is when you went to see Interview with the Vampire with him?
One of the last times. Well, that was like the best day I remember ever having with this friend, like this dear friend. We went to see, it was a day at work. They always take a day off for deer season. And I was an electrician with this friend of mine. They take off at noon at the first day of deer season every year, and me and him were the only people that weren't hunters. So we went to see Interview with the Vampire instead, and it's one of my greatest memories ever.
Right, you and this friend. So he loses track of the friend. The friend tracks Richard down.
It was one I nearly cried when I opened I actually cried when I saw the email. I can almost cry thinking about it now that my friend, I thought he had passed away because I hadn't heard from him for like 12 years. And I was just so worried that something had happened to him, and he emailed me about 3 weeks ago.
You're crying now.
What happened that you weren't in touch with him?
He just moved away to, like, St. Thomas.
Why are you crying?
Because he was just such a dear friend.
But he's alive,
He's not dead.
He's alive.
I thought he was.
Why
it makes me so sad to think about losing touch.
How did you lose
people.
touch? Why didn't you just...
Because he didn't have a phone number I could call there. He
really loved this guy.
Yeah, he's like one of my dearest friends ever.
So anyway, listen to this. So Richard rediscovers this friend somehow.
Yeah.
You should know the first time they started Interview with the Vampire was November 11th,
1994.
1994.
The day it was released.
So listen to what him and the friend now. Where's the friend live? He's far away.
He's in Arizona now.
They're going to, this weekend, I guess.
So this November 11th.
This November 11th,
Sunday.
On their anniversary of seeing Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Richard's going to put in his DVD player Interview with the Vampire. His friend in Arizona is going to put the Interview with the Vampire on his DVD. They're going to start it simultaneously and text message each other during Interview with the Vampire and call each other.
Wow.
Is that so weird?
Right. Now, let me explain
This
something.
is a guy, right?
Explain this. I know you...
This is where my edict not to acknowledge Richard is affecting the show. Because almost like Babe Ruth calling his shot to center field,
right.
I guarantee I could be funny right now.
You mean when Richard said, "Is this weird?" You could have had a funny retort. Yeah, let's say you were talking. Let's say you were talking.
But no, I can't.
And Richard goes, "Is this weird?" What would you have said had you? Were you talking to him?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's affecting the show.
Whisper it to me so I know. I want to know what I'm missing.
Just because... pretend it's somebody else saying it.
Pretend I'm not here.
Who else would say that? Well, I have a prediction. Fuck the comedy. I have a prediction.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That I think, and I'm not trying to be a jerk-off now or add to our argument, I think Richard had gay sex with this guy.
How else could he be this broken up?
Right, I mean,
this is a guy.
That's so not true.
But Richard, you're crying. First of all, what kind of crazy hillbilly scenario lends itself to where you don't have a phone number on this guy? Your best friend in Missouri?
No, he moved.
A phone number.
There's no phones in wherever he went.
This was years ago.
He was trying to get away from you?
I didn't even have a phone number back then. When I lived in Missouri, I lived in a warehouse. I had no phone, barely had a bathroom.
Right.
And he moved to the Virgin Islands to go on a boat tour and just to kind of live life and enjoy life and live on a boat. So he didn't really have contact information.
You never had a gay incident with this guy?
Never, ever.
ever see him naked?
Never.
But doesn't
Never
it
saw
sort of
him
indicate
naked.
to you you're not that important to him?
No, he said he was like real broken up when he emailed me. He was like, he goes, I can't believe, I just found you. I saw you on the internet, and he said he's been looking for me for years too.
I
mean, it's just looking for you for years.
It's like The Notebook.
And you know what I did? This is you guys are going to bust on me on this.
What did he do?
What are we going to freak out over?
Okay, about 3 or 4 years ago, like I know his full name, so I called everybody with that name in like several states in the United States to see if it was him. I looked up information, and it was like 50 or 60 different guys with his name, and a lot of them just hung up on me.
I got to tell you something, Howard.
Yeah.
I had a female friend who was telling me a story like this, where, some good friend of hers left, and she was all teary-eyed.
Right. Now she's
a lesbian.
Of course she's a lesbian. Of course she is.
Hello, is this the Patrick Boyd Anderson who knows Richard Christie? No!
That's how it went. Yeah.
Hi, is this
By the way, pictures of Richard's dirty apartment are now on HowardStern.com, and you will throw up.
Can I say something about the dirty apartment real quick?
Yeah.
Will was telling me, I'm sorry, Fred, Will was telling me that Richard came to him and said Will has a maid that he uses, so he asked him for the recommendation of the maid. Will gave him the number. Will said he went to the apartment, and he said, do not call my maid. She's a cleaning woman, not a slave. She doesn't do crime scenes. I don't want you embarrassing me by using my maid.
I would tip her good.
I had a question for Richard. This is a friend from back home?
Yeah. Well, like the greatest times of my life, and
But he's from your hometown?
No, from when I lived in Missouri.
But you didn't have family there or other friends that you might have been able to contact?
Nobody.
Have you ever seen Interview with a Vampire? Do you remember a blotchy gay guy who saw it with you?
By the way, I don't want anyone to think Richard is gay. He says he's not gay. We should accept that. You know that already. But Richard will be getting his asshole bleached on the air in just a few weeks. I just want you to know that.
Just in time for a reunion.
But you guys have never...
Yeah, it'll be pre-reunion.
You've never had a dear friend that, like, when you think about them, you think about all these great memories, all the fun times you had?
Look, I'm telling you.
I never have dear memories.
When that girl was carrying on over some girl she lost, I was like, that's weird. To be crying and carrying because you lost a girlfriend?
Well, this guy, we had it was really the time of my life, that time that I lived in Missouri.
You loved him.
Listen to me.
Not as a gay guy, I didn't love him, but I love him as a friend.
You're crying again, aren't you?
He's not dead.
So let him talk about his friend so we can see if these
tell us how you
Tell us what you love about him.
Well, just that we used to work together, and we just had so many great times. He was such a good friend, and
what kind of times? Tell us about.
Well, when I explain it, it's goofy shit. Like we used to make horror movies together, and low budget movies, and we used to watch him and his wife and me would watch horror movies together. And
imagine if you had found out he was dead. How would you have felt?
I would have flipped out. That's why it's so sad, and why, like when I opened that email, I just flipped out because I thought he had passed away or something. It was hard. I sound like a fag right now. Sorry.
You've never sounded fag here.
And what's going to happen when you two meet up?
Not a fucking...
Do you ever think about all the good times you've missed out on with this guy?
Yeah, kind of. But he explained, we've talked a lot since he contacted me, and he's had a great life. He's married now with kids, and
he got the birth of his kids.
Yeah.
You could have been like an uncle. Or,
I could have been giving birth to your kids.
Look at that, tears coming down.
Oh, he's crying. Yeah. I love it.
But it's never too late. I'm just glad. I got to thank Al Gore for inventing the Internet, because otherwise he would have never been able to find me.
All right, Richard, congratulations. Get that apartment.
You should what about thanking Ben Franklin for inventing electricity?
Absolutely.
And
I got to
thank you for all inventions.
And I got to thank you, Howard, because the way he found me was he found out that I worked on this show.
All right, Richard, congratulations. I got to move along. And there's your toilet. There's Richard's toilet, Artie.
Oh, my
Lord. Oh, Richard, come on, dude.
How can that girlfriend of yours goes to this apartment?
Well, I got to thank her. She's the greatest girl in the whole world. She cleaned up the toilet yesterday, cleaned the whole apartment. I came home from the gigs this weekend, and the apartment was spotless. She's awesome.
I mean, like, let's say this, you're the sloppiest gay guy I've ever met. I mean, usually they don't like that.
Well, that's an overreaction.
All those pictures are on howardstern.com, howardstern.com. Mason, this friend, you loved him so much, and this will be my last question to you about it because I am running late. It's 10:35 already, and I have to go. But this friend, if he was dying and you could save him by blowing him, would you do it?
Wow, that's a tough question.
The only thing to save his life, would be to blow him.
The only obvious answer is no.
You wouldn't blow your friend that you love so much that
you'd
you're
let him die.
I'd cry
to keep him alive.
I'd cry as he passed away, and I would hope he would understand.
All right, so maybe the only way he can live is if he blows you.
Would you let him blow you?
I might let him kiss around the head or something.
I mean, well,
I wouldn't be able to get hard. I mean, he'd just have to suck on my flaccid penis, but if it was life or death, maybe I'd let him do that.
Right.
I'm not...
All right, Richard, go ahead.
I'm not gay.
Go invent some great comedy, and God bless you, and thank you very much.
Love everybody here.
Love you, too.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow.
Will you cry like that for us?
No. He hasn't had any good times with us.
Imagine this poor guy. He's like, I got rid of him.
Right, I left the country. I couldn't take this dude.
Artie, if you could get rid of Richard, you wouldn't go back to him, would you?
No.
He's still looking for you.
They're going to put Interview with the Vampire on at the same time and then text each other while they're watching.
Yeah, and then you're going to pause it.
That sounds like so much fun.
And he wants me to believe he's never fucked this guy.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Artie, to get rid of Richard, would you blow a guy?
Yes. Oh, that toilet. Oh, my God. He's an animal. You're an animal.
All right, let's get the rest of the news, please.
Rap mogul Jay-Z taking over Sirius Satellite Radio's Hip Hop Nation for a week. Jay-Z debuting as host of Sirius Channel 40 today, Jay-Z Nation, to feature music from the rapper's albums, including the release of the latest American Gangster in conjunction with the Denzel Washington film of the same name. Don't miss the Red Peters Comedy Music Hour tonight. 7 Eastern, Howard 101. If you see Stern News happening, we want to know about it. Call the Howard 100 News tip line 877-33-SIRIUS. Choose Channel 100 or email us at howard100news@sirius-radio.com.
All right, thank you, Steve. And let's get right over to John Hine, who's been patiently waiting to tell you about the wrap-up show today at 11 o'clock.
Well, Howard, the guys who play Vince and E on Entourage dropped by, and the one with the real sex stories was not necessarily who you'd think it'd be. We'll cover the interview, Kevin Connolly's impressive resume and how he doesn't hesitate to throw a punch, how Adrian Grenier works the on-again, off-again thing with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and how Entourage seems to be the greatest place to work in all of television.
Right.
Plus, Debbie tried to defend the title she's held since 1997, but Abby soundly defeated her to become the true queen of queefing. We'll go over today's contest, Debbie's unbridled enthusiasm and initial lack of confidence, Abby's amazing rapid-fire ability, and we'll try to figure out what the hell is going on in this controversial world of queefers. And last but not least, Richard had a money issue with the Killers of Comedy. He's not speaking to Jason, and Artie still isn't acknowledging him or Sal since he saw their true colors. We'll discuss everything that's going on and speculate why things seem to be falling apart for the teary-eyed Richard Christie since Halloween came to an end.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Sounds like you have a full plate. We'll try to get to you on time today. Robin, it's time for news. There you go, Robin.
All right.
Welcome to your introduction.
Thank you.
What's in the news?
Well, we were talking about the marathon earlier. Tens of thousands of runners took part in the 38th annual New York City Marathon yesterday, and Martin Lell of Kenya won the men's side of the event. He crossed the finish line with a time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 4 seconds. Lell also placed first in the 2003 New York City Marathon. Also in the crowd of 39,000 participants, of course, was cycling great Lance Armstrong.
He had a pretty good time compared to the actual winner.
I was going to say, you got to figure this guy is an incredible athlete.
Yep.
He's 36 years old. This is not his sport.
Right.
And he runs incredibly. You know, he was running about 6-minute miles over a 26-mile course.
It's remarkable. Remarkable.
It's just phenomenal. And his training included going out and making out with Ashley Olsen and all kinds of things that aren't usually on a runner's regimen.
He made out with Ashley Olsen and still managed to run. I mean, you'd think he'd be in training.
This is an incredible man.
Tim, you're on the air. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
He does say that he needs to balance out his life.
My name is Tim.
Yes, Tim, quickly.
Yes, I'm a longtime fan from NBC. Been on hold for 40 minutes, but that's all right. Hello, Robin.
Hi there.
Artie, Lang, you're the best. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Fuck Sal, don't worry about it. He only wish he could be like you. And Richard, he's a fake.
All right, thank you, Tim.
I want to say, Howard, I want to say your name should be on the moon. I heard you earlier. And I think Sirius will be even a million times bigger than what it is now, all because of you.
All right, thank you, Tim.
No
All right,
problem.
very nice of you to say. Sirius. Yes, Robin. So
a British woman won the women's portion of the contest. Did you watch the finishes? They were really closely contested.
No, I did not watch it.
That's why you're not excited. They were really like the closest finishes ever on both sides, the men and the women. Hotly contested. Paula Radcliffe gave birth 9 months ago. Her daughter's like 9 months old.
It must have been great, these finishes, as you say, because Beth came to me and she said, I was so inspired by the finishes that I am going to run the New York Marathon next year.
Wow.
Yeah, so she wants to do it.
Here's Radcliffe, Paula Radcliffe, the winner, who says experience was the key to her victory. 2-4.
Martin Lell wins the ING New York City Marathon again and once again.
Oh, 2-4.
2-4.
I'm on 1-4.
Sorry about that.
That's my fault. Hold on. Okay, here you go.
I knew how far it was into the finish, and all I was thinking was just, come on, think back to all the time I was cross-training, think about it. I just really just give myself a mantra.
Sounds like McCartney's wife.
Well, she is British.
Yeah.
Is this woman a pedophile?
She's been out of the sport for 2 years and comes back and wins.
Very good.
Here she says that she really had to battle against the second-place finisher, Getty Wami.
I was thinking of Ostend from about 23 miles, thinking, yeah, that's why I'm not going to go too early. I'm not going to be desperately trying to shake her off, because I can come back if I play it smart as well, and if I gauge it right so that I'm finishing as fast as I possibly can into the final.
How much slower are the top finisher women's to the men?
Oh, darn it. You let me throw that away before I could. I don't know where that is now.
It's all right.
Got to be a good hour.
I think it's like 20 minutes or something.
20 minutes. You think it's as high as an hour, or are you making a joke?
45 to an hour.
No, it's not an hour. It's not.
Really? I thought it was at
Let's
least 45.
Ooh, where's... They don't have her finish here.
One thing I know...
Oh, wait a minute. No, she had a time of 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 9 seconds.
And what was the other time?
2 hours, 9 minutes, and 4 seconds.
It's
almost...
It's a 15, 16-minute
difference.
Wow, it's nothing. Shit. But the one thing I do know is Americans don't win shit when we're against the rest of the world. From basketball to hot dog eating to running, we can't win anything anymore.
And one of the guys who was trying out for the Olympic trials died over the weekend. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was really sad.
Oh, that's
28-year-old guy, wife.
Just got married.
Yeah. They say that in an enlarged heart. Now, does he know ahead of time that he has a large heart, or they just learn that?
I'm sure they just learned it. If he had a problem, he knew.
They had it diagnosed, and they said that later on in his life, because his resting rate was so low, he was going to need a pacemaker.
So he knew that did he know his life was in danger if he ran?
I don't know how much they told him. That's all I know.
I'll tell you, I went to high school with a kid. He was a catcher on our state championship team. I'll give him some props. The great Charlie Hopta, one of my good friends from Union High. He always knew he had a heart condition, larger than, large heart, and at the age of 30, he's hitting golf balls. And he knew. The doctor said, look, it could be a time bomb. He's hitting golf balls, and he just dropped dead at the age of 30. Wow. And a lot of these guys the doctors say, look, we don't know. You're a time bomb. It could, we can't tell you not to do anything.
Right,
but
so you live your life.
Right, live your life, yeah.
To be a world-class athlete and
you can't sit in a chair the rest of your life, but the temptation is there. I'm just going to take it easy, I'm afraid.
Right. This kid was a great athlete, too, is my point.
Howard, if somebody told you...
To save him, would you have blown him? If you could have saved his life?
No. You know what? No.
No.
And he wouldn't want me to either. Charlie would have accepted that.
It's not worth living.
Death graciously. Howard, if somebody told you had an enlarged heart and it's a ticking time bomb...
I would never leave the house.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't move.
And I would bet the majority of people live that way who are told that. I would not. I would sit on my ass. Maybe I would walk somewhere. I doubt I'd even do that.
You'd be carried.
I would be panicked. I would be carried places. Fred would have to carry me everywhere.
What about sex, though?
I would have that, yes. That I'm not giving up.
You're going to risk it for sex.
Very slow sex, very romantic.
They'll have to do all the work?
Yeah. Girl will have to ride up and down on me.
Oh, God, you would be the wrong guy to tell that to, man. Could you imagine a doctor telling you that?
Imagine the poor girl being in bed with me as Fred has to insert me into her.
You're not even doing that?
No, Fred would actually line me up.
But you see, that could be fun.
Put me inside of her.
Not too creepy.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
I don't know.
I wouldn't do anything. I would be so panicked.
Fred is going to put me in you.
Fred, quickly.
Look, I want to sleep with you, but I have to tell you there are a couple of conditions.
You should have a big wizard behind the thing going, and now Fred will insert Howard in you.
Anything else in the news, Robin, before we go?
Absolutely. I love these stories. You know, it is hunting season.
Benji will hold your tits.
And I always like it when the animals get one.
Yeah.
A deer gored a Colorado man hunting with a friend yesterday afternoon. The hunter shot the deer, but when he approached it, the animal jumped up and gored him.
Good.
The hunter's friend drove him to the hospital. His injuries are not life-threatening, and his name has not been released. Wildlife officials in Centennial State, which is Colorado, say that it's been about 4 years since a hunter was attacked by a game animal. They don't do anything to these animals once they attack a human, do they?
I like that they call Colorado the Centennial State. What is that?
I don't know.
Boring.
But I hope they don't go and get the deer because he hurt a human. I mean, he was fighting for his life.
I don't know why you got to name a state anything. Let's call it what it is, Colorado. Why would you call it the Centennial State? It's Colorado. You don't need a second name for a state.
Yeah, Centennial.
I don't even know what.
Call it Centennial, then, if you want to.
Ron Kuby, here's the point. He's pissed that he's lost his job to Imus.
I agree. I mean, this guy, Ron Kuby, had a morning show on WABC with Curtis and Kuby, Curtis Sliwa. They had higher ratings than Imus, and they've somehow...
They've been on the radio for 8 years, 8 successful years. That's what ABC would consider
And Kuby just got tossed off like he didn't do anything or contribute to the company, and Curtis, for some reason, gets to stay. Kuby gets to leave.
No, but
it's mind-blowing because I guarantee you Curtis and Kuby will have higher ratings than Imus. It is the most phenomenal, mystifying situation in my career as a radio host.
Well, listen to this. You know, he said the ABC people came to him and said Imus has paid a high price for his mistake. He says high price. He got paid $20 million in his settlement with CBS. He got an 8-month vacation, and he got my job.
Well,
how did he pay a high price?
And this is an example of, this is the worst example of irony ever, because you got this guy, Imus, gets arrested for racist bullshit. Not arrested, but fired because of racial stuff. And the job he ends up taking is a civil rights lawyer.
Yeah.
Kuby's like dedicated to, to exactly what Imus...
It's remarkable. It really is.
It's awful. It really is awful justice.
And why any radio company would hire Imus is beyond my comprehension. I don't know that he really makes that much money for these companies, but they claim he does. So
what's a weirder decision? as a radio guy that you think you've seen? David Lee Roth taking over for you or this? They're both odd.
The David Lee Roth one is really strange.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
But by the same token,
at least you know what you're getting with Imus. Right. But by the way, David Lee Roth got higher ratings than Imus. Right. Honestly, he did.
And he lost his job.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, ABC should have hired David Lee Roth.
When you think about it, yeah.
Yep.
Well, Kuby says that, he received the news. But, everybody's been talking about it in the newspaper. He couldn't have been oblivious to the fact that Imus had gotten his job. He received the news 45 minutes before they announced Imus's return. But it was all over the papers that it was happening.
All
right. Let's see. What else is going on? We were talking about football. The Battle of the Unbeatens happened yesterday. The New England Patriots versus the Indianapolis Colts. And the Patriots, coming from behind, win 24-20.
Great game.
Which will continue the argument as to who is the better quarterback. I guess what you could say is the clutch quarterback is Tom Brady, right?
Yep.
Well, again, it's like,
It's two different teams.
I say Peyton Manning.
Most people say if you had 2 minutes left on a game, the guy you'd want in there for you is Peyton Manning. That's what most people say.
Yeah, it's, look,
I don't know.
Look,
but
Manning
Tom Brady looked great.
Manning got his first ring. That was something Marino could never do in the Montana years. So they're both amazing, but that Patriots team is fucking impressive. They might be the best team of all time.
Yeah.
And Brady is a main part of that. So you say Brady's the best, it's so hard to argue with.
Anything else, Robin?
It means nothing to you that Navy played Notre Dame this
Nothing. Completely missed on me.
I'm a sports fan, and it means nothing to me.
They make such a big deal about that. I don't even know. It's supposed to be one of the longest rivalries.
Navy and Notre Dame?
That's what I was hearing this weekend. They were making a big deal about it. So anyway, I think Navy won. A former employee, you were talking about the Oprah Winfrey press conference. Well, now there is news. A former employee of Oprah Winfrey's School for Girls in South Africa has been arrested as part of an abuse probe. They have done an investigation, and now they say that one of the school matrons, it appears that her actions were at the level of criminal behavior. They say not only did she physically abuse the child or children, but she also made suggestions or asked them to do things that were inappropriate. She grabbed a pupil by the throat and threw her against the wall, according to one girl. And they also allege that the matron screamed and swore at the girls and assaulted them. So there you go.
There was no uproar when Imus called me a Jew bastard in 1984 and said I should be thrown in an oven. How he wasn't fired back then is beyond me. Remember, Lloyd Lindsay Young did a report on me?
Uh-huh.
Does Howard Stern go too far on the radio?
Yes, Howard's a slut, Lloyd. Plus a Jew bastard. Excuse me. And should be castrated.
That would change his voice now.
Put in an oven.
Put in an oven. And he so desperately wants to be funny. But he's so unfunny. And the sad part is, even with all the publicity, I hate to contradict David Hinckley, but Imus will be a bigger bomb than ever. He will initially get some people to tune in, and then his ratings will sink. And WABC will be begging Ron Kuby to come back. Hang in there, Ron. You'll be asked back. You did. Ron Kuby actually did the impossible. Got about a 3-something share on AM radio. Not bad. But this Imus never did better than a 2. Never.
But he gets the job.
And he so badly wants to be a wit and wants to be, Jew bastard, throw him in an oven. There's nothing funny about it. He's just gross. He's a vile human being, and he's unfunny. Anything else, Robin?
Carlos Santana and his wife of 34 years are divorcing. Deborah Santana says that her husband was unfaithful, and she has filed for divorce in Marin County. The musician has said that he knew he made mistakes in his marriage. I sincerely apologize to her and my kids when I wasn't in my right mind and did something hurtful. I thought he was all spiritual and everything.
Yeah, but he still likes pussy.
That'll unspiritualize anybody.
Oh, sure. I mean, I know rabbis who bang on the side. Come on. You got priests. You can't even resist these young boys. I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh, my goodness. The couple have 3
children. It could be spiritual.
Children.
And,
yeah.
God has yet to make someone who doesn't like to come.
Oh, my goodness.
Basic to mankind.
I thought that was all supposed to be a part of the hall. You know,
all right.
Let's see. I don't understand how we now still have pirates, but we do.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? Pirates. Like they board your ship. I'm like...
Do they still look like Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean?
There are actual pirates out on the seas.
I'll tell you, the new ones are scarier than the old ones. Yeah. They got automatic weapons, the new ones.
They do, but they still talk like pirates. Get off your ship there, matey. I'm a pirate, I tell you.
Somali pirates left 2 boats they had hijacked in the waters off the Horn of Africa, and the newly liberated vessels and their crew of 24 are under the U.S. Navy escort right now.
Get off of your ship. Me and my parrot are coming on there, would you?
They are also asking the pirates that are still holding 3 other ships to let them go and to let them leave and sail back to Somalia. So the freed vessels were seized on May 15th off Somalia. It was not immediately clear how the sailors were freed or whether ransom was paid.
They got these anti-piracy laws, but they're not helping.
I know. It's like a free-for-all out there on the high seas.
Thank you, Robin.
Hollywood writer's strike has begun.
Yes.
So does that mean that...
That means Letterman and Leno can't do their show.
Letterman or Leno tonight?
That's right.
They can't work any longer?
They can't do it. They got to have those writers with those bits.
The first picket lines are set to begin this morning at NBC at Rockefeller Center.
You know, on those little blue cards, the writers write the questions. Ay. You mean to tell me that Letterman couldn't go on and wing an hour show? An hour? And with the commercials, it's probably, the whole content is probably under 30 minutes.
We're crossing the picket line.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? The crossing the picket line?
Well,
they said, that some of the other unions, their contracts are not far from being over, and that there'll be a whole joining of the Teamsters and actors and everybody on strike.
They've been trying to, merge all that for a long time, but, I think they consider that crossing the picket line if they did it, so who knows.
They are fighting for more take in the royalties that come from DVD sales.
Yeah, the DVDs, the problem is DVDs change show business. Yeah. It's a whole different ball game, they're a real business, and they got to
show us the fucking money.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly, Bubba.
I think I remember this correctly, that I was having dinner with Emily Proctor this weekend, and she said that the CBS take of DVD sales is something like $30 billion.
It's insane.
So,
it's bullshit.
They want a piece of that.
Anything else, Robin?
The ugly split between Paul McCartney and his ex-wife Heather Mills has gotten so nasty that the former Beatle will sue for full custody of their little daughter.
Beatrice.
That poor kid, when you think about it, that kid is in for some shit, I think.
McCartney consulted with his lawyer.
Did you and Emily Proctor take enemas together?
No, we did not.
No coffee?
We just had dinner.
What kind of coffee she likes in her ass?
She doesn't do that on her.
I can't believe there's a woman that doesn't do that.
Beth does it.
There was an awkward moment at the end of the dinner me and Robin had together because I ordered coffee.
And she got jealous?
And I was like, asking her for coffee took on a whole new meaning. She'd like some coffee, but not even coffee. Robin is
I don't drink coffee.
Yes.
I'll have the coffee without the bag, please.
McCartney consulted with a lawyer for full custody after Heather told TV's Extra and a string of British chat shows that her life is in danger, and leaving Sir Paul to figure that is very dangerous for their 4-year-old daughter, and that he should have full custody so he can protect her.
Good idea.
Jane Seymour, who is now on Dancing with the Stars, has revealed, finally, that she does have breast implants.
Finally, she revealed it. Thank you, Robin.
She said that she got them during her stint in the movie Wedding Crashers that she did back in 2005. During the movie, she flashes Owen Wilson, and so she figured she ought to have a little enhancement before she did that part. So
yay! Hey, Robin,
small breast implant.
Help me out for a second. Is there an election day tomorrow?
Is there?
Isn't tomorrow like election?
There is.
Is it the first Tuesday in November?
Yeah.
It's usually election
But,
day.
like, am I
but I don't know who's running for what, where. I have seen some signs sometimes when I'm driving
I'm officially not voting because I don't even know what we're doing. I mean, I don't even know. Is anyone running?
I don't know. I don't think that anybody's running that I need to vote for.
Right.
It's not like a presidential primary or anything. The military is questioning again whether they should be allowed, they should sell porn to soldiers.
No, come on. Let
Congress
these guys have some
banned sales of sexually explicit material on military bases. The Pentagon is now under fire, however, for continuing to sell adult fare such as Penthouse and Playmates in Bed that it considers explicit enough to, doesn't consider explicit enough to pull from its stores.
Hey-o.
But dozens of religious and anti-pornography groups have complained to Congress and the Defense Department that a Pentagon board set up to review magazines and films is allowing sales of material that Congress had intended to ban. They're saying we're not selling that stuff that's sexually explicit, but according to Donald Wildman, it is indeed pornography, and they want it off the store shelves
let
of
Donald
our
Wildman
military bases.
Go over there and fight.
Some of the approved magazines include Celebrity Skin, Penthouse Playboy, Playboy's College Girls, Playboy Lingerie, and Nude. Banned are Videos, Blonde and Beyond, Girls Night In, Imported Skin, and Sex Symbols. Things that are under review, magazines such as Curves, Playboy's Hot Shots 2007, and Playboy Vixen.
All right.
Some should go.
All right.
Larry King is suing an insurance broker.
What's his problem?
He says that a greedy broker unethically pushed him to sell $15 million in insurance policies on his own life. It's a federal lawsuit filed in Los Angeles. King alleges that his broker had him sell a $10 million policy for $550,000 and a $5 million policy for $850,000, according to a website called SmokingGun.com. Both 2004 deals were far under fair market value and created tax burdens, according to the CNN host. King filed the lawsuit on October 22nd.
CBS television and CBS, the company's revenues have fallen 2.9%. Contributing to that, they saw revenue drop 12% in their radio division because it says in this article of Howard Stern leaving. This is now 2 years later. Good. Happy to read that.
Yes.
Anything else?
Naomi Campbell has given up cell phones. Naomi
Good.
Campbell got into big trouble throwing her cell phone around. She said it's been a very interesting year for her. I've learned many lessons, like no more phones.
Yeah. She beat someone with her phone, didn't she?
Yes. Yeah. In New York, I'm the bad girl. I'm the good girl. I'm the controversial girl, and I've been through much in this city. I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic, of which I am not ashamed. So I guess she's blaming that for why she was throwing the phones, and now she's gotten it all under control. Own one.
All right, Beetle.
I like when Beetle's
the Bounty Hunter is still off of TV. A&E has said that they are suspending, I guess, the show.
Boy, that dog, the Bounty Hunter, his son really did him in, huh?
Yes, it was his son who actually sold the tape to the Star because he was so angry at his father for not liking his girlfriend and throwing him off the show and out of the house.
I wouldn't want Dog the Bounty Hunter mad at me.
A&E didn't go so far as to say that the show is canceled, however.
Mm-hmm.
So it is off the network indefinitely until they can figure out what to do about the racial slurs that he made. Christina Aguilera is admitting now that she is pregnant.
Yeah.
So everybody can just go ahead and congratulate
We suspected
her.
when she blew up to the size of a house.
Somebody told me that Dog the Bounty Hunter was making $500,000 an episode.
Get out of here.
I don't believe it, but that's what I heard.
I don't believe
Bullshit. Martina Hingis has announced she's retiring from tennis amidst testing positive for cocaine at this year's Wimbledon.
Hey, if you could play good tennis on cocaine, why would they suspend somebody? Give them credit.
Well, she's not playing that good.
Well, whatever.
I have tested positive, but I have never taken drugs. That's what she says. I feel 100% innocent. That's what she said in this statement. The reason I have come out with this is because I do not want to have a fight with an anti-doping authority.
Hey,
Because
Alex.
of my age and my health problems, I have decided to retire.
What's up? You know, WABC should put Dog the Bounty Hunter on in the afternoon. They could have Imus the Racist in the morning and then Dog the Bounty Hunter on it.
Maybe he'll get the afternoon slot.
Maybe.
He's in there now.
Yes, Alec, what can I do for you?
I had the pleasure of running into your wing woman at the beginning of the Duran Duran show on Friday night.
What's a wing woman?
Beth.
Oh, Beth.
Oh, she's at the Duran Duran show?
She is, you know, I've met her twice now. Once at the Union Square event where you're handing out the boom boxes, and then at this Duran Duran show. She is so much better looking in person than she photographs. She's stunning.
Yes.
And I waited for a minute for the paparazzi to stop taking pictures. I should have just walked right up and put my arm around her. That would have really pissed you off if you see the photograph with her and some guy around her.
God, you sound creepy.
Yeah.
I am creepy. I'm very creepy. But
how about seeing me in person? Do you realize how much better looking I am in person, too?
Actually, I caught you at the your final event from K-Rock when you went over to, what is it, Hard
I never
Rock?
hear that I'm better looking in person. Oh, thank you, Alec.
She's a stunner.
Well, I'm going to pass that word on
And
to her.
classy. She said, you know, you're off visiting your kid at college because some things are just more important than Duran Duran shows.
It's hard to believe. Okay.
She's cool. All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks, Alec.
How did she like Duran Duran?
She liked it very much.
Oh, good.
She had a nice time.
Gas prices going up.
What the fuck was with that guy?
I don't know.
I would say that he should have been arrested should he approach Beth.
I wonder if that was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No, that pissed you off.
Yes, I would have put my arm around her. Yeah, it's called assault.
Yeah, really. Trilby Lundberg says gas prices are going up again. Here's the highest and the lowest prices. Number 3.
Yeah, here's a depressing story for you.
Of the cities we surveyed on November 2, the highest was San Francisco, $3.28 for regular grade, and the lowest was Newark, New Jersey, $2.73.
Wow. Why is that?
Well, there are refineries in New Jersey, aren't there?
I see. So it might cut the cost, you're saying?
Yeah.
Come to Newark.
Beautiful Newark. Lowest gas price. Blah, blah, blah.
The number 1 movie at the box office this weekend, American Gangster, starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. Here's Russell Crowe talking about the character Denzel plays, Frank Lucas. He says he was a smart guy, number 5.
He was a smart guy. He was a good businessman. He took the attitude on a regular product into the dark.
No, he was a heroin dealer, asshole.
He was a jerk off.
Not with you. Okay.
Conan O'Brien writer Chris Albers talks about the strike and what they're looking for, number 7.
When our content is reused for a profit, we want to share in that profit.
So there you go. When they sell those DVDs, they want to get paid. They say they're seeking pay for digital media, GAO writer here, number 8.
These companies are very, very smart. They're very savvy, and they're going to find ways to, to profit from this new way of doing business. And we just want to make sure that that as writers we don't get left behind.
Sounds fair.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson understands the writer's stance, number 9.
The Rock understands it?
The Rock does.
Well, if The Rock understands it, then we all do.
I look for it to be resolved as soon as possible. But I understand.
They don't actually write his scripts, do they?
He definitely needs a script.
Yeah.
And here he says the strike would affect his SNL hosting duties.
I know I'm not going to do Saturday Night Live now. I was hosting Saturday Night Live next week. From what I know now, that obviously we're not going to do that, but big deal. I can't host Saturday Night Live. I mean, the most important thing here is that the writers and everybody come to an agreement. I know I'm not going to do Saturday.
All right.
So there you go. He can't do Saturday Night Live now.
The history of that show taking a big hit.
Rachel Weisz is in something called Fred Claus that stars Paul Giamatti and Vince Vaughn. Here she talks about working with Vince Vaughn. Number 2.
He's extremely fast in terms of,
In terms of farting. He did that off 93 farts in 30 seconds.
So fast.
He's so fast.
Extremely.
improvise a lot. And almost like before you finish improvising a line, he'll be back with his line. He's extremely quick. It's like lightning speed.
All right.
All right. Lightning quick.
I'm sure writers love hearing that, too. He improvised everything.
If there's a writer's strike, SNL should just take all their old scripts that, like, Belushi and Aykroyd were in and let their new cast do them, and then we can compare who's better.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, why don't they do that?
Yeah, those were already paid for.
Yeah, we'll see how they hold up.
Rachel describes Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus.
Paul was just so great as Santa Claus. He was just so committed.
The most committed Santa Claus of all time. Everybody compliments.
You really felt like the head of the North Pole was in the room.
And I love him. I wish he'd put his whole head inside my vagina.
He has this huge fat suit and these huge fat hands. And
big, thick beer can cook.
And wonderful white hair and beard. And I just thought he looked wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Everyone's wonderful. Isn't it great?
I remember I was blowing the reindeer playing Dasher.
Anything else, Robin?
Yeah, things are not going well in Pakistan right now. There's a big crackdown over there on dissidents this Sunday.
Remember the good old days in Pakistan?
The political crisis before marches planned for today. And the Bush administration doesn't seem to know what to do. They have expressed dismay, but said they continue to back Musharraf, who is the leader of Pakistan.
We need to. We need him right now. I mean, let's face it.
Here is Condoleezza Rice, who admits there is a crisis in Pakistan. Number one.
She admits it. All right. Good that she admits it.
This state of emergency needs to be abandoned and returned to.
Wait till all the people of the world see my logo on the moon. That's going to calm them all down.
Oh, yeah.
They'll all unite. That's my plan to bring world peace.
I'll tell you one thing. That'll piss a few people off.
Yep. I'm ready to do it.
But fuck them.
Yep.
Here's a political analyst, Simon Henderson, who says the Pakistan crisis is very dangerous.
It's an enormous crisis. It's a crisis for Pakistan. It's a crisis for the...
Why don't we launch my logo on the moon? If Sirius really wants to do something big...
That's when the whole world is coming to an end.
That's right. And I'm ready for that.
No, I say, Robin, it's just the beginning of a new world.
Is that right?
Yes.
I just think it'll just enrage.
It'll be the greatest advertising ever. And there's no law preventing it, by the way. Thank you.
A world where we get up at 4:30 in the morning for the next 40 years.
So, they're watching Pakistan closely, monitoring that situation. Led Zeppelin has had to postpone a gig. Their reunion gig to honor Ahmet Ertegun was supposed to happen on November 26th, but Jimmy Page fractured his finger somehow.
Idiot.
They don't say how.
Is Baby Bonzo okay?
Yes, he's fine. But Jimmy can't play for 3 weeks, so now they've rescheduled the performance for December 10th.
Right.
So
I read Ahmet Ertegun dropped dead at a Rolling Stones concert.
No, he fell at a Rolling Stones concert.
And that led to his death?
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's right.
And Kevin Federline will reveal all about his troubled ex-wife Britney Spears on a TV interview with Oprah Winfrey.
All right, Robin, but it's going to be interesting.
Kevin Federline,
All right, Robin.
Early next year, he's expected to wind up on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
That's what's happening.
Saturday, December 1st, King Norris at the Chesterfield Inn, Route 528, Chesterfield, New Jersey. Go to kingnorris.com for information. See the Killers of Comedy, Friday, November 16th at the Avalon in Hollywood, California. Saturday, November 17th at Cane's Bar and Grill in San Diego. Friday, December 7th with Artie Lang at the State Theater, Playhouse Square Center, Cleveland, Ohio. Go to RevBobLevy.com or KillersOfComedy.com for tickets. To book Benji and his Naked the Lesbian Bachelor Party strippers and to see their new, dirty, interactive website, go to dialadancer.com or call 1-800-414-7808. See Artie Lang at Caesars Palace November 15th at the 3rd Annual Comedy Festival. Tickets are now on sale to see Artie, so go to thecomedyfestival.com or call 877-TCF-FEST for show updates and ticket information.
Can't even have that.
I know you can't get married.
Yeah.
Gee,
so we don't have the opportunity to go through that anguish that you're going through now.
Believe me, you know I'm on your side.
I know you are.
All right.
We want equality.
Are you having a destination wedding? That's what it sounded like.
What does that mean, destination wedding?
Where people go somewhere.
Well, I mean,
like out of the country.
No,
place.
No, I would never do that to anyone.
That's a pain.
I hate that. Join us in,
Cabo.
Cabo. Whoa. What do you mean Cabo? What does this entail? I mean, not only am I giving you a gift, now I got to fly my ass out to Cabo and spend my vacation with you.
Yeah, if ultra-rich, like, billionaires...
hops on a private plane.
And has the money to... Everyone else can go.
everybody else,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no destination. The destination will be somewhere in Manhattan.
Oh. So it is a Manhattan wedding now.
Well, maybe.
Is it summer or next fall?
See, you keep asking me like I'm hiding something. We don't know. Sometimes we say it's in the summer, sometimes we say the fall.
Howard,
yeah.
Quid pro quo. Offer a tidbit of possibly when, and allow access to the cookie party.
No. An invite to your wedding, and then I'll let Howard TV.
No, that's not the deal on the table.
You want an invite to the wedding, and with the invite, you will allow Howard TV access to your
A little
cookie
bit of
party.
access.
How much access? Well, I'll let you be at the wedding for 5 minutes.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine someone wanting to go to a wedding that bad. That's fascinating.
Women love weddings.
But I'm not even going to have like a celebrity wedding. Like I'm not going to have celebrities.
That's
and
all
stuff.
right. It's
I'm just
still
going to
you.
have some friends.
You're Howard Stern. It's a news event.
I mean, I'm not even having Fred at the wedding.
Oh, my.
Remember Fred didn't have me to his wedding?
I know.
Thank God. I love him. I appreciated that so much. I figured he'd appreciate if I didn't have him.
Wait a minute. He had other people here? At
He got married on a beach, and people walking by were at his wedding.
Well, he got a
He asked the plumber to be his witness.
Really? Well,
that's one of those bullshit lines that Gary handed you when you bought a hook, line, and sinker.
Didn't you? Who was your best man?
I'll tell you what happened, Howard.
No, who was your best
Gary,
man?
Shut the fuck up for 1 second.
No, I'm going to tell Howard what happened.
You're going to tell him what happened, or you're going to tell him that you lied?
I didn't lie.
You did lie.
You lied. Fuck that.
Gary, you lied.
Let's find out.
How long have you been married?
Seriously, you told a lie.
This show is so dysfunctional.
They've been having this argument since Fred got married.
Gary's so on fire, he came in and knocked Lisa G over.
Would I not know who I invited to my wedding?
Wait, but I didn't lie. I told Howard.
Lied.
Fred, let me finish a
Gary,
fucking sentence.
No, I won't.
Let me finish.
Because you've been telling his fucking lie for like 20 years.
It's not a lie. I didn't. Here's what happened. I hired a plumber. He came to my house. He said he was walking along the beach, and he stumbled upon Fred's wedding. That's what I told Howard. However, Howard has twisted it and misconstrued it over the years.
You didn't
is
lie.
Howard, not me.
Lying. I apologize.
I hired a plumber. The guy goes, funniest thing, I was at Fred's wedding last week. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I was walking along the beach. I saw people get married, so I walked over, and I was at Fred's wedding. But the plumber wasn't the best man.
Who was the best man?
I don't know.
And not only that, that's not even true. He was not walking up. Nobody walked up.
He swears that he walked right on it.
No, he didn't. He's lying.
How could he not?
Well,
it's a public beach.
It's a public beach, but nobody walked up.
If people walk by?
There's 5 people standing there.
Fred,
nobody walked up to this group of people.
Fred, people walk by on the beach, and so you got married.
He did not walk up.
But he walked by, so he was at your. He says he's at your wedding.
So maybe he embellishes when he says he's at the wedding, but he said he walked by.
It's an embellishment.
Okay, Fred, he clearly walked along the beach and knew that Fred was getting married, right?
I mean, he saw you get married.
You just want to keep playing this song. Go ahead.
But Fred, I never said the plumber was your best man.
Upsetting anyway.
I know. Why are you freaking out about this?
You know what it is? Because it turned out that this plumber thing was just so stupid.
So who was your best man?
My best man was my dad.
What?
Yeah.
Your dad was there?
Yes.
And where was your mom?
My mom was there, too.
And who else was there? It was your mom and dad, and who else?
My mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and her grandmother.
Well, that story sucks.
That's it.
I can't believe Fred's been harboring
this
resentment for all these years.
Resentment?
No,
because you're spreading lies.
No, he's clearly angry with me, but Fred, you were there when I told Howard what happened.
The word is irritating.
But you were there when I told Howard what happened. How could you be mad?
It's irritating.
But I told Howard exactly what I just told you.
It's irritating.
So be irritated with Howard.
I'm irritated with you because you bring this shit up.
Yes, Gary. Fred, like, you would never write a fucking email. If somebody sent in a note that I went by Gary's wedding on the beach, you're the fucking king of sending wacky emails.
That didn't happen,
Jesus
Gary.
Christ.
Gary, there's a little difference between an email and what actually happened.
Right, because you're too afraid to tell Howard just reaching fucking email.
But Fred, if a plumber walks...
You're nuts. You know that? You're fucking nuts.
But seriously, you do the same shit that I do in writing instead of in person, and you're somehow better than me.
What are you talking about?
Fred, you're in charge of looking at the emails, and anybody that sends you a gossipy note, you forward, which is fine. That's what you do.
This doesn't even come close, Gary.
How does it not come close?
This doesn't even come close.
So, Fred, let me ask you a question. If the plumber, say it's me that got married, right? Now the plumber sends an email saying the same exact thing. You're not going to forward that to Howard, yes or no?
I don't know.
You could, of course you fucking forward. Be honest.
You better, or else you're not in charge of email.
It's harmless. It's not a harmful email. I wouldn't.
What should Gary have done with this information? Maybe that's more constructive. What should he have done when he heard?
But he portrayed it like this guy was like part of the wedding.
I didn't. I told you exactly what I told Howard, and you were there when I told him.
You bought that hook, line, and sinker.
Bought what the guy said. He was walking along the beach, and he saw Fred and Alex getting married. That's true.
Well, that didn't come out on the air that way.
But I am telling you, that's what I told Howard.
No, it's not weird.
He saw it, and you think he didn't see it, but he says he saw it.
No, that's not what you're saying.
I'm not saying he was in the wedding.
You're saying he was invited to the wedding. He started this song.
I'm saying he was the best man.
I started what? What did I start, Fred? What did I start?
Eventually he's going to be a plumber married to Allison.
I told Howard, I relayed a story exactly the way it was told to me. I didn't embellish. I never said the guy was your best man. I never said he attended the wedding. Howard has embellished it. Listen, I got a million stories. Howard now has me doing a million things that have been embellished.
Sal has the Gary mask on and a big sign that says liar.
That just harbors resentment, but you never know what it's about.
There's no resentment. I'm telling you how I feel. There's no resentment. I'm telling you, when something happens, I'll tell you to your face. I'll tell it right then. But I don't walk around, sitting on like an egg like you do.
What are you talking about?
All right, enough of this.
What are you laughing at, Artie?
Gary started...
It's funny when you...
Everyone in the room is laughing.
Gary started that whole Fred is from Mars rumor.
Exactly. No, that was Jackie Martin.
No, I'm just kidding. Listen, thank you.
This is like Shakespeare, full of sound and fury, signifying... Nothing.
Lisa G, do you have any more for us? Please,
I didn't
Lisa.
even start.
All right, go ahead. Start.
Ivy Supersonic is now displaying her affection for Benji through her own website. A new section of ivysmedia.com details the couple's relationship through show recaps from howardstern.com, Mark's Friggin, and audio clips.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I zoned out. I'm still thinking about Fred and Gary.
Yeah.
There's also a personal picture of the happy couple in front of Macy's right before the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Who, Ivy and Benji?
Ivy and Benji.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The Reverend Bob Levy is steaming mad over his recent AVN nomination for Best Non-Sex Performance in the film Stood Up. He says that Vivid Video, who produced the film, has refused to pay for his flight and hotel room for the Las Vegas Awards ceremony. And porn star Tabitha Stevens tells us this is out of the ordinary, and Vivid should absolutely be paying for his airfare and hotel.
Oh, really? Is that what they do?
Right, and they also have been bugging him to put the name Howard Stern on the DVD cover.
And he won't do that.
Yeah,
thank you. I mean, I'm not looking to be on the cover of a porn.
And
right,
finally,
thank you, Lisa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say that Colin Quinn will reportedly be heading to Fat Camp this weekend. I asked him if he was coming to the cookie party, and he said that he was adamant that he was going to Fat Camp this weekend with or without Artie Lang.
Well, Artie can't go this weekend, can you, Artie? You're working.
Well, he wanted me to go December 9th, and I said I can't take off work to go to a Fat Camp, and he was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to Fat Camp.
All right, good for him. I wish him luck. He's a good guy. Ralph, go ahead.
Fred, I love you, but it's bizarre that you can get so upset about something that's been things get twisted and turned into fact on the air all the time. And
Ralph,
that's just sometimes a little bit of, it's not even that hardcore. It was
Ralph?
a little funny line.
No, Ralph, sometimes I just get irritated.
That's all. That's it. That's Fred. That's what makes Fred so Fred.
And that's it.
Thank you.
I think some people misconstrue real rage for just irritation.
All right, there you go. Fred talking about rage and irritation and the differences between the two.
Can you tell just by looking?
Oh, I can tell everything about Fred.
You know when it's rage and when it's irritation?
You can tell nothing.
I know when it's rage and I know when it's whatever the other thing
So you knew that was just irritation?
Yeah, it was irritation. Oh, yeah, I know my Fred.
You mean like now?
Yeah. All right, Lisa G,
right,
thank you very much. Our friend John Popper's going to come in and do a little song for us.
John's here. Oh,
cool.
That's great.
Yeah, he just got busted for something that he's going to talk about. And
Always
also,
getting busted with his knives and his everything.
I also have to play for you Imus's second day on the air, where all it was technical.
Why do you want people to hear this?
Because it's just filled with technical difficulties. It's so funny.
I'm just saying that most people wouldn't have heard Imus. They're only hearing it because you play him.
I love playing it. I'm sorry. It's just so great.
I want to hear the contribution of the two African-American cast members because you guys weren't clear on this. You just said a weather person and a sports guy. they're both comedians, according to the New York Times.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I knew the woman had a comedy background.
Right. Supposedly the guy does.
I thought he was a sports guy, so he's a comedian, too.
Yeah. They're trying to pack that show with anybody with a personality, because Imus doesn't have one.
Imus would not have anybody with a real personality on.
Here's Imus. He can't get his equipment to work. Even David Hinckley, who gives a regular blowjob to Imus in the newspaper every day, couldn't even believe.
Yeah, he had to say they need to work it out.
Yeah, he has some problems. There's the musical Imus theme.
He's playing the blues.
Yeah. I'm a douchebag. Oh, whoa.
Whose technical problem is that?
I think that's Imus's hearing aid, and I'm not making a joke.
Oh.
Because J.D. showed me the TV version of the show, and Imus pulls out 20 different things out of his ear.
I know. Well, he's always used those headphones, though. That
but he also
look like hearing aids.
Yeah, but he also has another thing that's a hearing aid, I think.
Oh.
Robin, he pulls out the headphones, and then he pulls something out of his ear real quick and sticks it in his pocket.
Oh. Forgot his hearing aid.
Maybe it's an ear booger.
It's his lucky wax.
Here's my lucky wax. So cool. I wish he'd get to it, because I can't wait to hear his verbal repartee with Charles.
Yeah, I mean, the world could not live without this.
Do they know they're on the air?
Yeah.
It is now 7 minutes past the top of the hour on this Imus in the Morning program. Day 2 of the I-Man's return after an 8-month silence, and a little bit of silence continuing here this morning.
Well, it didn't help that the engineer over. It sounds like one of those public access calls, that we make to goof on those shows.
What, do we hire a nigger engineer, too?
That would have been good. Second day in, the N-word.
I'm here about, 15 minutes ago, and they're not ready to be on the air. So I don't know if we're on the air now.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can. Well, it just may be you and me talking to it.
It's like a phone call.
Essentially, that's it, anyway.
I've been calling you at night for the past 8 months. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm good.
Well, we're just assuming. Everybody. Here's a situation. Everybody's doing the best they can do. You can't ask for any more than that, and there's just no point in going on about it. Tom Friedman's going to come up this morning, I think.
Yes, sir.
We'll be able to get him on.
Isn't that great? How do you listen to that shit? There's just nothing real about it. It's just awful.
Direct opposite of entertaining.
No, it's just...
You know what? I was very fascinated by how they... depicted a phone call between them if they weren't on the air. He'd say, "How you doing, Chuck?" And Chuck would say, "Hello, I-Man."
Oh, wow. No,
anyway,
a little look into that.
There is, just to go on with what you were saying, I-Man, regarding Mr. Huckabee.
When did he start calling him I-Man?
Oh, my God.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
Oh, it's so sickening.
I'm just curious to hear the creative input from the two black people.
They're never going to speak.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of jokes? Are they allowed to make reference to the Rutgers thing? What's going on?
Hey, I got to ask you guys a quick question, because I read this in the paper. Well, let me just see something.
21 after the hour, here at the Imus Morning program on the radio around the country and on RFT TV. Can you hear us, Lou? Can you talk to me, Lou? And I hear you.
Can you hear me? One.
Well, we're actually just across the street from WABC, which is... Yes. We can walk across the street and do it until we get this fixed. You want to do that, Alex, or no? I mean, I'll do whatever you guys want to
do. That's all I hear when I hear his show. And then like... Tune it out. Over. All these years of listening to me, and he still can't get it right.
I should go across the street like now?
No. Oh, it just sounds so intense and strained. And it's horrible. It's radio at its worst. No ratings. Do you know that when Imus left, WFAN maintained the same rating. In other words, it didn't go down in the morning. In other words, it didn't make a difference.
Would have been great if it went up.
Well, they put on Boomer Esiason, who essentially, I mean, he's never done a talk show. I mean, he does, sports commentary and stuff, and he's doing fine. I mean, he's got the same ratings. I mean, how is that possible? Doesn't someone in the audience just leave? I told you.
Weren't they there for Imus?
Yeah. He had no ratings. He had a 1.3, and the 1.3 didn't even disappear.
Wow.
Because you can't get lower than a 1.3.
Yeah, because the 1.3 could be a 0.3.
1.3 means that, and then you leave and it's still a 1.3, means there's a few brain-dead human beings in your audience, and they just don't even have the energy. They can't get
to the radio to change the channel.
They don't want to get up from their couch. That means the only people listening are probably people who are sewn to their couch. It doesn't even make sense.
But, there's always a plus or minus 1 in every rating, so it really could be nobody.
Oh, you're on the air.
That's what I hear. Oh.
Well, we'll wait till Tom Friedman calls back, and then we'll see if we can talk to him. Sheriff Foster's...
I mean, at this point, could there be anything less hip? You're going to try to be at least...
It's like a bunch of old guys who can't get their shit together.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Steve Allen had that last radio show.
Yeah. Smart, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
She's off mic.
Right, nobody's on mic. What's going on?
Well, we'll wait till Tom Friedman calls back, and then we'll see if we can talk to him. Sheriff Foster's here this morning. How are you?
Who's here?
How are you?
Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett.
Farrah Fawcett's here.
Tom Friedman calls back.
But it's not Farrah Fawcett. It's
Carith.
That's the new black woman sidekick.
Oh, I thought he was saying share our thoughts.
Foster.
No.
Hey,
Carith Foster is what he's trying to say.
Sheriff Foster's here. Carol Foster.
He's horrible.
What's up, Imus? How you doing?
Hey, want to hear the new sidekick? She's off mic. You can't even hear her. Right.
Well, we'll wait till Tom Friedman calls back, and then we'll see if we can talk to him. Sheriff Foster's here this morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
Well, I guess I'm all right.
Am I still okay, though? We got censored? Am I in trouble?
No. We had an over-cautious board op in Nashville.
Gotcha.
And when you talked about me being married to a black woman, he freaked out.
Show's going to be great.
Tony, you got to turn your mic on. How are you? Is it?
Oh, my God. This is crazy.
Yeah. Do you want headphones?
We don't, yeah.
You guys have... No. Well, we just... Anyway. You want headphones?
He sounds like Bernie Meltzer.
You guys want headphones?
Glass was shattered at a bank building in Passaic, New Jersey. The winds are expected to die down in a few hours.
See, Lou, we can't hear any of that stuff.
Can't hear the cuts.
No idea what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, cool.
But we couldn't hear the cut, so we don't know when it's playing, when it starts, when it ends.
Okay, there wasn't supposed to be any cuts, actually, in that cast. Any Chuck didn't get the new script.
Well, let's see. I have something in my hands.
Wow. What a fucking nightmare.
There's a whole script?
We've only had 6 months to work this out.
Well, Chuck's really into preparing that news with the... I guess cuts means...
They're audio clips.
Right. Who calls them cuts?
Well, they don't.
That's old
They've
school.
not updated.
Oh.
But my point
Cuts.
here is, if he's writing the script, now there's a new script. He's not writing anything.
We can't hear the cuts. We can't hear
I have something here that says there's cuts.
No, I called my new sidekick a cunt. You can't say that. At least I didn't call her a nigger. Step in the right direction.
A board op in Nashville is getting upset.
And the new cunts. Where's that cunt?
The new script has no cunts.
Where's that cunt, Careth? Where's that cunt, Farrah Fawcett? Farrah Fawcett Majors. Farrah Fawcett. You're Farrah Fawcett. Charles, we thought where's Farrah Fawcett? I'll say. That cunt shook my cunt. Tell that cunt I can't hear the cunt. Tell the cunt I want my cuts back.
I mean, his crew is getting as big as the Ohio
Bernard, yell out
Players.
nigger. Tom Forrester and Farrah Fawcett Meadows.
He's becoming the Chicago of radio.
Where's Lumpy Wagner? The bionic woman.
This show's a train wreck.
Yeah. It's literally a train wreck.
I think we're going to get on Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter's
Karen
here?
Carpenter's here. Try it.
Just yell out names.
I read a review of it, I guess, in the Times or somewhere, too, and the jokes that the black people made were so contrived. Like, the black woman did a bit, if Imus was married to a black woman when he made those remarks, he would have got no sex.
Oh, geez.
The worst sort of, like, false premise. Like, what does that mean?
Goodness.
Anyway, I was going to make a good guy thing going for him, you know.
Always writing to people to apologize if he offends anyone.
Right.
Always saying the right thing.
Okay. So with the writer's strike, evidently, they're claiming that when the strike occurred, Jay Leno said to all of the staffers, there's about 100 staffers who aren't writers, but because The Tonight Show isn't in production,
they're off. Makeup people, the camera crew.
All those people are laid off. Now, Letterman and Conan have been paying those people out of their own
pocket?
Yeah, out of their own production pockets.
You know, they're good souls.
Because they're taking care of their people. Leno, at the time of the strike, said to his folks, his non-writing folks, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Okay. Whatever that means. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Now, this is according to what I read in the paper. So, I guess for about a week or so, they got paid. Am I right so far, Gary?
So far, it sounds right.
Okay. I hope I'm close.
All right.
And then all of a sudden, they were told, we're not taking care of you. In fact,
I heard that we're let go, right?
A lot of you are probably not even going to get to come back when the writer's strike is over. It could be possible. That
Wait a minute. They can't even come back after the strike is over.
Possibly. They're all being evaluated.
Wow.
So they start freaking out. And the reason they're freaking out is they were told by Jay, don't worry. And they said, he didn't have to say that. We can go out and get other work on other shows. There's a lot of production jobs out in California. This is what these people do. They say, if Jay wasn't interested in paying us, if he told us,
you around.
If he told us in the beginning, we can scramble and get some work, especially around the holidays. We need work.
Now, wasn't there a part where when he did let them go, he did say he would take care of them, and he sent them off with a bonus?
But the bonus was $100.
Yes.
Get out!
Yeah, so like now everyone's all freaking pissed off at him.
Are you serious? $100?
$100. So everybody freaked out. It's been in the newspapers about what a scumbag Jay is. And now I read in the paper today, he has agreed for at least for the next week to pay his staff.
Right.
Wait a minute.
He's back on board for some time.
Let me ask you something. The staff includes the band, or does it not?
I don't know. Because I was saying to Beth the other night, I said, I wonder if Stuttering John,
that's
for
what
example.
I was getting to.
I would think he would have to be included. I think you're talking about your...
Well, wait a second. Doesn't he have a contract with NBC, or do you have a contract with Jay's production company?
Does it matter? Because if you're not going to work, if you have a contract and you're...
Wait a second. If I have a contract, and let's say Sirius stops broadcasting for whatever reason, they still have to pay me. Sirius has to pay me. Now, I don't know if Stuttering John has a contract with Jay Leno and his production company, or he has a contract with NBC. And if John's unable to provide his services because of Jay's show not airing, I don't know that he doesn't get paid.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to any of that.
I think it could go either way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering about. How deep is that, that cut?
All right, I don't know. But say it goes as deep as it can go. So you're talking about, 10 camera guys maybe, another 10 or 15 tech guys around the back. The writers are out. How many guys could that be?
The makeup people.
It could be a staff of 50 or 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the same. Do you think Letterman or Conan are dealing with any less people?
No,
absolutely not. Jay Leno is reaching it now. So here's from today's paper. Jay Leno is reaching into his own pocket to pay the non-striking staffers of tonight for at least a week.
At least a week?
Yeah. Word of Leno's decision to pay the staffers comes just days after they were all laid off by NBC because the show had been shut down since November 5th. The move follows a wave of harsh criticism of Leno from Tonight Show staffers, several of whom were quoted anonymously in Hollywood trade papers, slamming the host for not helping them out. What do you got, Johnny?
Yeah, John, what'd you do?
Yeah, what is that? Do I have the story right?
Basically, this is from Variety. What happened was the bonus wasn't $100. It's $100 times the number of years you had worked for Leno.
Okay.
So if you're there for 25 years, it's $2,500, I guess. But the big issue was that that memo that came from NBC's HR department basically said, and I'm quoting here, if your services are needed, we'll contact you.
Oh.
And then, writers are wondering, do we have a job when this is over? What's really going on? There's a bunch of confusion there. And so when they found out that Conan was paying people out of his own pocket, Leno looked really bad because it's the same company, obviously. That's when Leno decided to do it. And it says here they were caught off guard Friday by the tone. Leno was caught off guard by the staffers who were really pissed and feeding all these blind quotes saying, what's going on with the host? Why isn't he taking care of me? So he's getting
but they also claim that Leno told them at the beginning that he'd take care of them and then didn't. That's what I read.
It sounds like Leno to me.
Yeah. I just like that.
One thing and do another.
I just like that everyone thinks Leno's a scumbag on his own show. Now they probably...
Well, now he won't want him back.
Yeah.
Well, they also said, the higher-level execs got severance packages, but the lower people just got the...
So what happens to Stuttering John? Is he getting paid?
I don't know. You can't see... I don't know if he's a writer, if he's a writer, then he's part of the guild, and so that means something. He has a guaranteed contract. I don't know what his deal is.
He's not a writer.
But I haven't heard a thing about John, whether he's screwed or not, but it's not looking pretty.
Wow. Well, I just like that everyone now agrees
turning on Jay Leno.
That Jay's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Good. Because I agree with that sentiment. If anybody wants to quote me, I always knew Jay was a scumbag.
Well, you said it on these airwaves and others.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It says, still on the payroll are the executive producers and a skeleton crew to answer the phones.
Wow.
Wow.
So.
All right.
That's the latest.
All right. Well, thanks, John. Anyway, that's what's going on with Jay Leno. All right, when we get back, I got a bunch of stuff to play for you. George Takei is here, our announcer. Do you feel like doing an announcement to the commercial break here? Also, Lisa G will be with us when we get back, Robin. Here he is, our announcer. For the week, he's here, George Takei.
I just wanted to wish Robin a happy Kwanzaa for the holidays. I'm sure as hell I don't know what Kwanzaa is, but it keeps the black people happy, and I'm all for that. It's the Howard Stern Show.
Well done, George. Thank you.
I don't know what Kwanzaa is either.
Happy Kwanzaa.
You should know that, Robin.
It means a good harvest. You didn't know that, huh?
No.
It took an Asian to enlighten you.
I'm not a farmer. So.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Fancy days are here again. The summer is good. Oh, I got my flower.
Yeah, I love to sing. Come on, it's Christmas.
When did you do that?
Isn't this the Christmas season we're coming into?
Oh, it would very definitely be. Haven't you seen the lights?
That's right.
Happy holidays from the Howard Stern Show and Beetlejuice.
Beetle, you wrote a letter to Santa Claus for Christmas?
I didn't start it yet.
Christmas is 3 weeks away. You didn't write your letter to Santa yet?
Well, like 5 years away. What's wrong with you, man? That's stupid, brother.
Now, are you celebrating Christmas, Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah?
Hanukkah? What the hell are you talking about? Ain't Chinese, pal. Ain't no Chinese there. I'm Mexican, motherfucker. I ain't Chinese.
Thank you, buddy.
Happy New Year, motherfucker.
Thanks, Pete.
Beetlejuice is bad as can be. Smoking weed and banging hookers right beside the Christmas tree. He's a little freak and he has no teeth, but we love him so. Merry Christmas to Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern Show.
Thank you, Pete. All right, a little Beatle Christmas for you. George Takei, our announcer's here. He's going to announce us back into the show. George, please.
This is George Takei with an impromptu musical moment. William Shatner is a joke. William Shatner is a jerk. Why does that bald asshole keep getting TV work?
Wow, you are good. You are
well, it's a musical show here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody sings.
Yeah. We like that song. Thank you, George. And great to have you here.
Wonderful being here.
I'm going to bring in Lisa G, who's going to give
Chào cả mọi người. Và hôm nay bên em lại về một chiếc Toyota Altis, chiếc xe sản xuất 2012, số tự động, bản 1.8. Altis là một trong những dòng của Toyota rất là bền bỉ và tiết kiệm nhiên liệu. Form dáng phân khúc hạng C cũng rất là đẹp. Thông thường nếu mà để form dáng đẹp thì người ta sẽ chọn Camry, nhưng mà nó hơi ăn xăng, vì vậy là cái dòng Altis là vừa form dáng ok và vừa tiết kiệm nhiên liệu và không phải bán quá nhiều. Thương hiệu Toyota thì mọi người cũng đã quá hiểu rồi. Con này